Europe to Africa and then all the way back. Now, as he's flying around, you're going to notice that Euro does some gliding as well compared to our raptors, and that's because he likes to use the thermals that rise off the earth in order to travel much further distances. Now, these hot pockets of air only rise off of the land, they don't rise off of water, and in fact, he will use the land route in order to be able to conserve energy on his migration. Now, spending such a long migration, it happens to be 9 months in time, which coincidentally is the same length of time as a human pregnancy, which is why these birds became the symbol of fertility, good luck, and of course, the bringers of human babies. Now, while he is out here, I want you guys to take a good look at those long orange legs that he has. Although Euro here is an excellent hunter in his own right, he is not what we call a raptor species. In fact, he is what we call a wading bird. So he's going to use those nice long orange legs of his to enter his favorite hunting grounds, which happens to be shallow waterway areas. And he's going to be nice and careful as he does so because he doesn't want to mix up the mud or the silt as he sneaks up on some of his favorite prey, which happen to be amphibians, crustaceans, and of course, in the waterways, fish as well. Well, we have had some fun out here so far with our birds, but now's the time where we're going to have a bit of fun with our audience members as well. I am hoping that all of my audience members who got one of those white bird of prey cards at the beginning of our presentation are still feeling awfully brave, because now is the time where you guys are going to come onto the field today and meet me at this T-perch here. Now, we're going to hand in those white bird of prey cards because we're not going to need them on the field, but you are going to need them in order to get through the gate. You guys look excited. That's what I like to see. Just come on over to this T-perch here and meet me. We're going to wait for everybody else to join us. All right. It looks like we have a pretty good group so far, you guys. We're waiting for a couple more people. All right, so I think we've got everybody who had those white volunteer cards on the field today. What I need you guys to do next before we get started is wave goodbye to all of your friends and family. After all, it is a bird of prey presentation. I'm just kidding. They're going to be safe out here and we're going to have lots of fun. In fact, we are going to be doing a race today. So we are going to be racing some of our birds out here. And in order to do so, we are going to want to warm up our leg muscles. So this T-perch I had you guys meet at is going to be our finish line. And where we're going to start our race is that rock wall all the way down at the other side of our field. So I'm going to get you guys to run on down there, warm up those leg muscles, and then wait for some further instructions. Looks like we have a pretty speedy group of volunteers today. This is going to be an excellent race. They're getting all situated down there, so it only seems fair. And it's time to meet their competitors today, which would be none other than Murphy and Kirby, our pair of black vultures. Now, as I head down the field today, you guys might be wondering how on earth is this race going to be fair when clearly the vultures can fly so quickly? Well, vultures are very unique, and instead of having a cup-shaped foot like the raptors do, they have a very flat foot. Now, vultures are scavengers, which means they spend a lot of time eating their meals on the ground, which makes them perfect competitors because they are very comfortable walking, running, and hopping on the ground. To all of my volunteers down there, I need you guys to put your hand up nice and high so I know that you're listening. Put your hand up. I have a couple more rules for you guys to listen to before we get started. As I mentioned, that T-perch is going to be your finish line. So whatever or whoever passes that bird or human first is going to be the winner of our race. So you want to head there as fast as you possibly can. But rule number 2, I need you to imagine that we have a line down our field today because I need you to run on this side of that line while our vultures do their best to stay on the other side of the line. But rule number 3 is the most important rule. I need you to run as fast as you possibly can to try and win this race. But if you happen to trip and fall, I need you to get up as quickly as you can as well, because our vultures love to eat dead things. We don't want any mistaken identities out here. We want to make sure we're all having fun. So if you guys are all ready down there, to our audience, we are going to count them down from 3. Are you ready? Yeah. All right, let's get this race started in 3, 2, 1, go! Looks like our volunteers are off to a steady race. Make sure you're staying on this side so we don't interact with those vultures. You know what? They are moving so quickly, our vultures had to fly in order to keep up with them. So I think this one definitely goes to our volunteers today. You guys did a wonderful job. Thank you so much for all of your help. Now you guys can all go home and brag to all of your family and friends that you beat not one, but 2 black vultures at African Lion Safari today. Although I would keep in mind that the vulture's legs are only about 6 inches long. All right, well, we do like having a bit of fun with our vultures out here because unfortunately for them, they have a very poor reputation of being gross, disgusting birds. Now, we often see vultures sitting along the roadside feeding on roadkill or carrion because they do love to eat dead things, and what they're typically doing, and is helpful to us, is cleaning up the environment. Now, the stomach acids of vultures are so strong that they can break down things such as rabies, anthrax, and botulism in our environment. So as you can imagine, they're extremely helpful to have around. Now, in fact, there are 23 species of vultures remaining on our planet today, but unfortunately for the vultures, about half of those species are currently threatened, endangered, or even critically endangered. But as you can see, everywhere we have seen a drop in the vulture population, we have also seen a massive increase in the amount of human death and disease that follows. So as you can see, everywhere these vulture populations are, our own health and well-being is directly tied to how well they are doing out in the wild as well. So we certainly hope maybe this race has gained some better appreciation for our vultures, and the next time you see our native turkey vultures on the side of the road while you guys are out and about, you make sure to give them a little extra room while they enjoy their meal, but more importantly, maybe thank them for doing such a wonderful job at cleaning up the environment and of course keeping all of us nice and healthy. Well, we are going to switch gears just a little bit, and our next bird who's going to come on out is actually one of our most unique birds that we have here at African Lion Safari. He is one of the rarest raptor species in the world, and he is technically a member of the falcon family. So he is quite unique for a falcon because instead of being quick in flight, he prefers to be on the ground. This here is Johnny, and Johnny is a striated caracara. Now, as you can see, he is quite a funny little character. He is very comfortable on the ground, so he is a tripping hazard, and he is quite vocal as well. But the striated caracara is native to the Falkland Islands, which is off the coast of Argentina. And on these islands, they don't have very many trees for these birds to perch in, so they became more comfortable being on the ground. Now, they are also a very intelligent species, quickly using their problem-solving skills to find food around people, around our garbages perhaps, or even underneath our flower pots, making sure that they can solve problems and make it nice and easy for them. Now, these birds being so comfortable on the ground are also excellent at hunting in burrows out in the Falkland Islands, and they are known to enter other animals' burrows, cornering them underneath the ground and catching a meal that way. Now, what really makes these birds so special is that they use their intelligence to their advantage, and they figured out that if they teamed up and worked together, they could actually take down larger prey on these items, such as sheep. Now, believe it or not, those farmers out in the Falkland Islands were not big fans of this, and they actually tried to eliminate the striated caracara from the environment. Now, luckily, the government decided that this unique little bird was worth saving, and they were banned from being hunted in the 1920s. And although their population isn't rising quite as quickly as our bald eagle's population, it is steadily climbing and currently sits at about 500 breeding pairs out on the islands. So it is good news, of course, but we certainly hope that that number continues to rise. Now, we are going to talk our unique falcon away because I need you guys to answer a very simple question for me. If you know the answer, I need you to shout it on out nice and loud, but can anybody tell me the fastest animal in the world?
Cheetah.
A cheetah. That is usually the answer that we get, but of course, remember, you guys are at a bird demonstration, and in fact, although the cheetah is the fastest land animal, the title of the fastest animal in the world actually goes to the peregrine falcon. So that's exactly what we have out for everybody today, because we are going to simulate a hunt for everyone, and what I need you guys to do is remain seated as Bobby gets to work out here. Now, although the cheetah can run about 100 kilometers an hour, the peregrine falcon can actually reach speeds of over 300 kilometers an hour, and typically they do this while they are in a dive or a stoop. So we are going to get Bobby flying out here and demonstrate how he would hunt. Now, he's not going to quite get to speeds of 300 kilometers an hour today because that is quite fast, but he's going to do his best to kind of confuse his prey item today. Now, what they typically do when they are hunting, falcons will actually make several passes around their prey item. These nice big loops are called the waiting on period of his hunt. So he is warming up his flight muscles, he is testing out the air currents, but as I mentioned, most importantly, he's actually trying to confuse his prey because he wants them confused in a way that they don't know which direction he is coming from. Now, this of course includes our trainers, and as he makes some passes, you might hear a couple of bells on Bobby, and that is simply so that we know which direction he is coming from. Now, as he makes his flight, we're going to see this next pass. We are going to see if he can catch his prey today, which happens to be a winged lure. Now, falcons will also drive their prey up into the sunlight to try and confuse them as well. And they are adapted with mallard stripes, or two little black lines on their face. Excellent catch by Bobby today. Those little mallard stripes though on his face helped it reflect that sunlight out of his eyes as he actually heads into the sunlight himself to catch his prey. Now, that was a pretty good catch by Bobby today, but if I'm being honest, falcons are only about 40% successful when they are flying and hunting. Now, when they are at these top speeds, especially for a peregrine falcon, and they're going a little bit too fast, what they will do is ball up their feet into fists, and they are going to punch their prey right out of the air. Now, at speeds of over 300 kilometers an hour, this is quite strong as a little falcon punch, and it typically kills their prey on impact. Then all the falcon has to do is go onto the ground wherever that prey has fallen and collect their meal nice and safely. Now, here at African Lion Safari, we do participate in a wide variety of different conservation projects, but the one here at our Bird of Prey Center that we hold near and dear to our heart is our project with the Eastern Loggerhead Shrike. Now, this little bird is a small predatory songbird we have right here in Ontario, and unfortunately for the shrike, it is actually a critically endangered species. Now, because of our program, we have been able to release over 300 shrikes back into the wilds of Ontario. But in all honesty, we have each and every one of you to thank for this success, because without all of your support and you guys waking up today, coming to Safari and visiting us, we would never be able to work on these conservation projects that mean so much to some of these critically endangered species. So we do want to extend a great big thank you to each and every one of you for joining us today. We are going to bring Bobby up nice and close, so come on down, ask any questions that you have, take any photos that you like as well. But just a friendly reminder before you leave, down the pathway in about 10 minutes will be our final Wild Wonders presentation of the day. So make sure you check that out, and then remember to enjoy the rest of your day here at Safari. Go wild.